Welcome back to our final segment of Chamber Exchange, the TV show. Again, want to thank our sponsors that make the TV show happen, Bank Hometown and the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, who are beginning their new season, 21-22 season. So best of luck to the Railers as they seek the Kelly Cup in the ECHL. Thrilled to have with us on our final segment, Raymond Marsh, who's the Community Business Development Representative, and Courtney Carpenter, who's the Executive Director of Evolve Recovery Center. Welcome.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
So maybe you could just share with our viewers a little bit about, and I'll let whoever wants to go first, or we can do a 1-2 punch. Tell us about Evolve Recovery Centers.
So Evolve was something that we opened new into the community here. Our parent company has been around for almost 20 years. Evolve is a residential level of care, so it's similar to that CSS or clinical stabilization. So we use a more of a holistic type of approach. So we're looking at not only the treatment, but also balanced nutrition. We're looking at physical activity as well, and then also daily meditation as part of the programming there. And I can let Courtney chime in on anything else with that.
Courtney, Evolve is a sister company to Sunrise Detox. So, obviously the issue of addiction is real, affects people across race, classes, everything, and it continues to be a huge challenge. And throw a pandemic on top of it, a whole new level of challenges for people in the recovery space who are dealing with issues of addiction.
Yep, you're absolutely correct. The pandemic, COVID-19, has only shown an increase in the mental health and substance abuse from what we've seen, with meetings in the community getting shut down or having to be done via Zoom. That person-to-person interaction and that connection isn't there anymore. So we've seen, increase in our admissions, not only with Evolve being our new program, but with Sunrise Detox. If anything, we're treating more and more addiction and mental health as well.
Right. And that kind of dual diagnosis is oftentimes the root of a significant percentage of the people and families that you're working with as you go through this. And so this sounds like natural evolution. I mean, you hear people say, someone who's got a challenge, go to detox, but that's just a short piece. If someone is really going to successfully get on the road to recovery, that kind of support and kind of guidance and kind of changing the way of living is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. We're now looking at what's truly mental health, from that component, because now the substances are out of their body. But now some of those underlying mental health conditions kind of start to pop up, and we're trying to decipher how we can best handle the patient and get them more of an individualized treatment plan and a customized aftercare plan. And everybody that leaves our program is going to leave with that customized aftercare plan. And we know that 14, 21 days after the detox is super important, and leaving directly from a detox setting into the community, is not always the best scenario for patients. And this level of care is also important, I think, for people that are struggling with marijuana or cocaine or methamphetamine because they don't meet medical necessity in a detox setting. So those are kind of the prime candidates for this level of care to be able to stabilize and to start to kind of peel back the layers and see kind of more the root of what the addiction lies.
Right. And one of the things that has evolved, maybe perhaps that's where the name comes, but there's, I think, a broader recognition in the medical community and I think society that and the healthcare community about how, if you're going to be successful in addressing issues of addiction, to understand and support kind of the treatment piece on the mental health side and potentially any other issues. So it's that's an important ingredient. And then the other element that you just mentioned is oftentimes people who are struggling with addiction, who do take that first step to go into detox, they're most vulnerable when they come out of detox if there aren't supports there. Because if they start using again, the tolerance and things like that are such that they could put themselves at serious risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And in terms of the program, if there are individuals out there or families that want to learn more, get engaged, I mean, how can they reach out to you and the Evolve team?
Well, our website's evolverecoverycenter.com. With the admission process, we do 24-hour admissions and 24-hour transportation. So that's kind of something that really separates us apart. So they would call my number, 774-708-9313. It goes directly to me. I handle all the admissions. We'll do a complimentary benefits check, and we'll schedule the transportation right away, and we'll get them right into the facility. It's a fast, efficient process. And with people that are struggling, like, we want to strike when the iron's hot and make sure that we can get them into treatment, while they're ready to go.
And just so we're clear, is it individuals who are coming out of a detox situation, or are you willing to also work with people who might say, maybe I'm not ready to go into, or I don't want to go into detox, but I'm ready now to begin the process of trying to address, my addiction issues? Is there a difference, or is it both you're willing to talk to and engage with?
Yeah, I mean, I think, anyone who needs to reach out for help, we're absolutely willing to have a conversation with. Part of that phone call, whether it be to Ray or one of our other reps in the community, would be evaluating what level of care is most appropriate for the individual. We can loop in family into that conversation as well, because they play a huge part in an individual's recovery. So in addition to kind of finding the right spot and the benefits check and arranging transportation and all of that, we'll do a kind of an assessment over the phone of the individual to determine like where you kind of fit best and go from there.
And that perhaps is probably where the partnership with Sunrise, the sister organization, if someone is in a situation in a state that a detox is required before they can then transition to kind of the Evolve residential piece, you can make that assessment and that referral.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're pretty much like a campus-like setting, is how we like to look at it, where all of our levels of care are located in one location, in one building. So you're just kind of transitioning from one floor to another, which also makes it a little easier. Change is difficult for a lot of people, and this is a big change that someone's initiating in their life, where to simply have to go up or down a flight of stairs sometimes eases that burden. Right.
And this is an issue. We've talked about how it impacts individuals and families, but we've heard from our member businesses about the challenge if they have a member of their team who's struggling with addiction. How do they make referrals or empower that individual to take steps towards recovery, and knowing who to turn to, especially if they do have insurance or some level of benefits that can kind of help them on that path. Getting this information out there is important, because we need people in the workforce. Right now, the single biggest issue that we hear from our members is trying to find workers and access to talent, and we need everybody. We can't afford anybody on the bench. So if someone is taking that first step towards recovery and getting on the pathway, eventually they're back into the workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, like, we're seeing a lot of more, like you said, like, people that might be members, in the community. They might be prominent members of the community. It might be first responders. They might be, the daughter of someone that's prominent in the community. And like, our priority is to make sure confidentiality is maintained. And that's one of the things that we can do, is we can do a luxury kind of like a private suite for those people, so that we can make sure that that confidentiality is maintained, and that they're in the comfort setting of our facility, which is more of a hotel style living, in a safe medical like a safe medical setting. Right.
So, yeah, no, that's important as well. Well, one last time, is a website is there a website someone can go to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's evolverecoverycenter.com.
Okay, and we want to thank both of you for the important work that you're doing, for being with us here, and hopefully for our viewers out there, this information can be helpful to them, or perhaps a family member. So thanks for being with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for being with us on this final segment of this edition of Chamber Exchange, a TV show. And again, thank our sponsors, Bank Hometown and the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, as they launch their 2021-2022 season.